All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm gonna start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who do teach them well. Shalom to the elect out there. They pushing, doing all they can do to make the calling and election sure. But I had a lesson I wanted to go into. It pretty much, I think I'm entitled it something along the lines of the angels, we're doing the sifting, and ultimately there's lessons about the tares and the wheats. But hey, man, even in these times, man, the angels are doing the sifting to make men's works be known, But, just to go into the topic at hand, it's based around the tares and the wheats. And this is kind of a back to the basics, we make mention of it and throw it out there all the time based on the tares and the wheats, but it's something we don't go into that much. Salaki, if you I think I picked the wrong spot. Anyway, this is just gonna be a back to the basics, just going into the tares and the wheats. But let me start right here at Matthew 13, because this is where that parable is spoken about. And this is where Yahweh Shai was teaching the multitude that was going and following him, and the disciples was like, hey man, why you teaching them in parables, And they says, because it's given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom, but unto them is not given. That's why we go on to teach as we do to break down these parables, so that the sheep of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, hey man, they gonna know Yahweh Shai's voice, and they gonna follow him wheresoever he goeth. But this Matthew 13 and 24, it says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, it says, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in the field. And this parable is talking about ultimately that seed that is talking about, that good seed is the righteous that the Lord had ordained since the foundation of the earth. You can get that in what is that, Genesis, the 2nd chapter, where he put let me just get it, Genesis 2. Right here, Genesis 2 and 7. Because man was already on the earth, because people get the understanding of Genesis misconstrued. They think it's pretty much just talking about one man, one woman, boom, and then they had children. They children had incest, which is off, man. If you read the 1st chapter, that's where he formed male and female. But this Adam that it's talking about here, is talking about the Adam which he gave the breath of life. He gave pretty much the understanding of good, and how to move according to eternal life, But then that serpent came out, which is the same seed line that's the wicked that's spoken about in Malachi 1, I believe, 1 and 4, That same seed line that went from that serpent in the garden to Cain and then to Esau, But weird that we are starting with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you Israelites, you are that righteous seed line that the scriptures speak about, and 2/3 of you are very unrighteous right now. But ultimately in the kingdom, man, you'll have the law, statutes, and commandments, the way unto eternal life written in your inward parts. You're going to taste death on this side, but there's a little something called reincarnation, where you're brought back. That spirit that never dies is put back into flesh, But that righteous seed line is going into right here, where the Most High gave this Adam the breath of life, and then from there went to pretty much Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you know, and then a what you have today, you Israelites, which is the apple of the Lord's eye, his chosen seed line that he chose to make a covenant with and give the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, that's the good seed, you know, that the Lord is dealing with. But this Genesis 2:7, it says, and the Lord and Yahweh power formed man of the dust of the ground and breathe into his nostrils the breath of life. And that breath that's talking about, man, is pretty much the ways of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua in righteousness that leads it to eternal life. It says, and the man became a living soul, and the Lord planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he formed. That's right. And if you continue to read on, it pretty much just gives you where that landmass is. But I think there's another point I can get out of this. Yeah, let me read 15. Jump down to 15. Genesis 2:15. It says, and Yahweh by Shem Yahushua power took the man, took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden and dressed it, and to keep it. Yep. And the Lord power commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. And why is that? You know, because ultimately, man, if you eat, because people think it's just talking about eating of a certain tree. No, it's talking about certain philosophies that you eat, and you portray those those doctrines. You portray those doctrines according to your actions, you know, which lead into life. You know, the doctrine that was given unto Adam, you know, was a doctrine of life. But when you start to take on these other doctrines, that's when you ultimately death, you know, comes. Death lies at the door, you know, because the wages of sin is death, and sin is the transgression of the law. It says, but of every tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat, for in the day that thou eatest thou shalt surely die. Yeah, and that's pretty much the point, you know. Let's go back to Matthew 13. Back in Matthew 13, I'm reading 24 again. It says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in the field. And we talked about that good seed that was sowed in the field. And the kingdom of heaven is ultimately the kingdom of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua on earth as it is in heaven, you know, a kingdom where it dwelleth righteousness. We don't live in a kingdom right now where righteousness flourish, you know. A folly set in great dignity here, you know. There's nothing but mourning on every side, you know. There's nothing but, you know, everything against the way of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Verse 25, it says, but while man slept, his enemy came and sowed tares amongst the wheat. And was it talking, and went his way. And what's it talking about? You know, it's pretty much talking about, hey, man, because there was certain laws that was given unto the Israelites, you know, not to lie down with our enemies, not to build with our enemies. You know, there's laws on making marriages with these other nations. You know, there's laws when the let me get that. What's that? Genesis 6. You know, because the book of Genesis, man, it's a heavy book. It gives you a lot of understanding. You know, if you got the eyesight to see it, the Holy Spirit's working with you. Actually, I should get the law first. Actually, let's just read Genesis 6. This is Genesis 6. And it said, and it came to pass when men began to multiply against the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair. And who were the sons of God? We talked about that. The Adam, who was given the breath of life, not the other nations. You know, that's why when these things started to come about, it displeased the Lord that He made men. You know, because why is that? You know, they probably started to lay down, making trades, you know, with the other nations. Hey man, there's a what account is that? The account with Dinah, you know, the sister of Jacob, the daughter of Jacob, you know, where Simeon and Levi went in there and fucked up those Canaanites. Yeah, what was it? Hamar and his son Shechem. Yeah, just based on because Shechem took Shechem graped Shechem graped Dinah, you know, and took her, you know, but he was happy to deal with her, so on and so forth. But hey man, we realized we weren't to mix and mingle and intertwine with these other nations, you know. That's why even to this day, man, you got certain Israelites that might look like certain Edomites, which are Edomites is so-called white man. The Israelites are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, look at Bruce Lee, for instance. You know, he's an Israelite, but he looks like a Moabite, you know. And there's multiple different accounts on the world where, hey, man, you got Israelites that look like other nations. That's why the angels are going to do the sifting, you know. Of course, we make spiritual discernment, you know, just based on different ways a certain people carry themselves, and we we ain't like the angels when it come down to it, but we pretty damn good at knowing the Israelite when we see one, you know. That's just something these other camps don't really dive into, you know, because the spirit ain't really working with them to show them the mystery of the wheat and the tares, you know. But as I was saying, you know, even the sons of Canaan, you know, that Shechem, you know, his father Hamar, you know, he wanted to get up with Jacob and was like, yeah man, we'll give you this, that, and the third, whoop-de-whoop. So they hit him with the what's the word I'm looking for? Damn. They supplanted him pretty much to go and circumcise all they men, you know, in order to keep Dinah, you know. But they kind of they hit him with the flex, you know. they hit him where all they men circumcised, they circumcised themselves, you know. Hey, Simeon and Levi, they was like, nah man, we ain't fucking having it, you know. We don't give our daughters, you know, to the other nations, you know. That's not how we get down. So once they were all sore from their circumcision, they went in there and killed them all. That's how serious in the ancient world, and in the times in the kingdom to come, that's how serious it's gonna be of not dealing with the other nations, you know, because Yahweh Shem Shai ain't dealing with them, you know. They worship unto idols on this side, you know, but in the kingdom to come, we're gonna be their idols, you know. They're gonna understand the order of Yahweh Shem Shai, the elect of Yahweh Shem Shai, you know, the believers, the large multitude that took heed to Yahweh Shem Shai on this side, and then the you know, the rest of the Israelites, you know, and then the nations. They're gonna fall into their order, and they're gonna be content with their order. See, the world's going back into order. What you have now is a confusion. Hence why this place is called Babylon the Great. When you go into the word Babylon, it goes into confusion. You know, there's nothing but confusion here, to the point where, hey man, as long as it sounds good and it feels good, then it's right to an individual. Nah, you know, the scriptures talk about, man, how the heart, the mind is desperately wicked. Who can but know it? You know, that's why the Lord left a standard and statutes on how to move according to this world. You know, but let me go back into Genesis 6. I'm gonna start at the top again. It says, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, the daughters and daughters were born unto them, the sons of God, talking about who the Lord gave that breath of life. Not you'll have people say it's talking about giants, you know. Nah, you know, it's talking about the seed, the good seed. It says, and the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all them which they chose. Now, there's nothing wrong with men taking wives. You know, in the kingdom, we're going to even have concubines, and we're going to deal with the other men, the other women of the other nations, you know, but we're not going to follow their customs and their gods. You know, that's why King Solomon, you know, he wasn't in the transgression because he had multiple wives of the other nations. He was in the transgression because he built altars unto their idols, you know. Verse 3, it says, and Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with men, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. I'll continue on reading. But men's life ain't even 120 years no more. But that's why that's ultimately why the Lord put that curse on men, you know, with Israelite men to die, you know, those sons of God, you know, because when they started mixing and mingling, like I said, you better believe they was making customs with these other, keeping the customs of these other nations, you know, they following their idols, you know, making gods of wood and stone, worshiping the creature more than the creator. Let's go to 4, since I spoke on giants. It says, and there were giants in the earth in those days. And when it goes into giant, let me just get it real quick. It's kind of off topic, but it is what it is. As our teachers would say, there's lessons and lessons. Last time I went into this one, I felt like the blue letter went off when it came to giants, but yeah, it do. Yeah, it do. Giants, Nephilim, yeah, it go off. Pretty much just talking about men of renown, men of a higher stature than the rest, you know. Because there was even order back then, where even Adam and Eve, you know, they were supposed to be the pinnacle of life in the earth. But Adam and Eve, even when they ate of those other philosophies, when they were beguiled by the serpent, you know, they started to die, you know. Women started to have birth pains, you know, during their delivery, you know. In the kingdom, women ain't gonna have birth pains no more, you know. I seen this dumb bitch. This is off topic too, you know. It was a TikTok, I believe. I seen it somewhere when she was like, when my monthly comes on, I be cursing Eve, like, damn, Eve, why you do this to us? No, man, it's natural for a woman to have her monthly, man. You know, it makes her unclean for a time, but the curse that was put on Eve was that she would have pains, you know, during childbearing. You know, that's another lesson for another time too. But anyway, let's get back into the topic at hand. We're gonna drop Genesis 6:2. Let me see. Yeah. Let's drop Genesis 6. Actually, let's get the law. You know, this Deuteronomy. Let's forgive me if I'm a little all over the place. You know, see, this is why you desire the sincere milk, that you may grow thereby. They just based on just this one topic of the tares and the wheat. The one parable of the tares and the wheats is taking me to various parts of the scriptures. So if a guy say I ain't got nothing to talk about, you know, hey, there's always something to talk about, man. You know, you just gotta show forth the effort and put it on wax, man. If you like, man, I'm not sure what to talk about. Go into one of those scriptures that had you like all in wow and awe. You know, when you first came into these scriptures. You know, Deuteronomy 7:4. It says, let's go to. Let's get straight to the point. Deuteronomy 7:3. It says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them, talking about the Gentiles, you know, the other nations, the Goyim. It says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his sons, neither his daughters shalt thou give unto thy sons. Yep, and that's for a reason. You know, and we talked about that. The scriptures will say it. For they will, verse 4, for they will turn away thy sons from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. And yep, just go right back into Matthew 13, and that's what happened. When the tares started to get sown with the wheat, you know, they were destroyed. They lost their power. You know, they started worshiping things that had nothing to do with the statues that Yahweh Shem Yahushua had gave them. Back in Matthew 13. Matthew 13:24. I read 25 again. Matthew 13:25. It says, but while man slept, his enemy came. And what does it mean by slept? You know, a pretty much you're not on your watch. You know, you pretty much laxy daisy when it comes to. And this is a parable, so that's why we can decipher and go into this thing the way we do. But this is when you sleeping, that means you ultimately letting this flesh get the best of you. You know, you're not letting the spirit flourish. You know, you quenching the spirit. You know, it says his enemies came and sowed tares amongst the wheat. And let's get that real quick. And went his way. Let's get that real quick. Let's get what a tare and a wheat looks like. You know, tare and a wheat. Tare and a wheat. Tare. Am I spelling that right? No, I'm not spelling that right. Let's get imagery. Now to the untrained eye, here you go. This is a tare and a wheat. That means they both look the same, but they both not of that good seed. You know, that's what a tare look like. You know. Yep. That's before when before they fully ripe, before it's time to harvest. Yep, they look alike. And the wheat we got today, man, is bullshit. It's bleached. You know, they probably mixed some tares in there, got niggas dying. I'm joking, but that's the tares. That's the parable that's given here. You know, they look the same, but they ain't of the same stock. That's why in the beginning, which I said I'm entitled this lesson, you know, the angels are gonna do the sifting. You know, it says, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. That's right. It says, so the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? It says, from whence have it tares? That's right. The Lord gave even you know, some of you Israelites out there that may have, you know, the complexion of an Edomite, you know, which is what the mark of Cain was when the Lord stripped him of his pigmentation, you know. That's the same mark that was placed on Esau, Edom, to give a distinction who the wicked was, you know. You gonna even if you look like an Edomite now, you're an Israelite, and you're gonna come back into the kingdom. You're gonna get that pigmentation back, you know. You won't have that curse on you no more, you know. It says, verse 28, and he said unto them, an enemy have done this. Yep. And just like now, hey, look at how it was during the time of slavery. You know, Esau was popping Israelite women left and right, to the point where there was a lot of even to this day, where as the cycle continues, there's a lot where the enemies, you know, he's sowing his seed amongst the good seed, you know, and now you got situations where a multiple generations has gone by, and you got a whole family of Israelites that look like Edomites. You know, I run into, man, you better believe a lot of these families you walk into where they look like Edomites, they might have the appearance of Edomites, them families are Israelites. And I see it a lot when I be like, man, they got too much flavor. Everybody, that whole white family, you know, they they got J's on, you know, they got you know, they clean, you know, they walk a certain way, they talk a certain way, you know. Them ain't no fucking, you know. It says, verse 28 again, he says unto them, an enemy have come and done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he say, nay. Yeah, so this is something we got to deal with right now until the kingdom is established. You know, it says, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. That's why a lot of you Israelite camps, where you got Edomites come up, you got them kissing and sucking on your boot, you know. You might have Israelites down there kissing your boot, you know. And to the untrained eye, it might look cool, you know, but that shit ain't cool, man. And besides, you ain't in your kingdom yet. We supposed to be the meek and the lowly. That's why a lot of guys ain't getting the deeper, dark mysteries and understanding of the scriptures. Is because they ain't really eating the whole role, you know. They not taking on the full will of Yahweh Shemi Al-Shah. So they go out and they fulfill what they think is right according to their own understanding, you know. And we make discernment when we go out there and we teach, you know. Some people you can just tell, but you know, it's levels to this thing, man. Let me start wrapping this up. It says, let both grow together into the harvest, man. It says, in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reaper, gather ye together first the tares. Woo! And let me read that again. And I will say to the reaper, and that's what we was talking. That's what we're going about. The angels, you know, the angels gonna do the sifting and making the distinction. It says, gather ye together first the tares and bind them in a bundle and burn them. Yep. So that makes a distinction there too. Hey, the Lord ain't dealing with you other nations, you know. You're when it comes to having dealings, and you profane with the ways of Yahweh by Shemi Al-Shah. It says, and gather the wheat into my barn. Yep. So let me get one more scripture, man. We're gonna end it off. Amos 9 and 8. Amos 9 and 8. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom. Yep. and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saying that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. That's what we just read. You know, the Lord's not going to utterly destroy the house of Jacob, but hey, man, you Israelites that you know, you want to join hand in hand with the enemy, hey, you're gonna receive the enemy's judgment. You know, now don't get me wrong, you'll get your mercy, but you don't want to receive the enemy's judgment. You know, you want to be the first fruits in the kingdom of heaven. You know, it says, for lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. That's right. Like as corn is sifted in the sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Yep. So with that, man, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Once again, double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone. Shalom to the elect.